Ladies and gentlemen, we are back into Racing League Tier 2 on your Saturday afternoons, and this time it is round 9. We are at the home of British Motorsport, that's Silverstone, for a great afternoon of racing. 18 corners, Silverstone, 5.891 kilometres. 29 laps if I'm remembering correctly, but yeah, should be a real great one. We have dry conditions for quali and the race, so should be a very good one. Scotty with you once again, and this time joined by a very special guest, one of the best in the business around Australia and the region. Just buddy up a little bit with Slammer. Great to have you in Inters with me this afternoon. How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, Scotty, mate. I wouldn't say that, bud. But anyway, it's good to be here. I think this is my Inter's debut, a last-second decision. So yeah, I thought jump in and see what's going on. A lot of familiar names in here. So as we know, the community's pretty close knit. So we should know these blokes pretty well. But mate, delighted at the home of British Motorsport, the home of F1, they like to call it as well. Got to love a bit of Silverstone action on a Saturday afternoon, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. As we can see a lot of the guys just on the Wellington Straight at the moment, ready for their first flying laps. Just to give you and the guys at home just an indication, Mercy obviously leading the Drivers' Championship on 137 in the McLaren, doing a fantastic job this season. Took that from our last round at Qatar, where we did have a sprint round, and Mercy pretty much did the double, won the sprint and the feature. So very dominant around there. Marty B, 124 points, only 13 behind, and then Gordo with his 3 wins as well. Lost the top spot last week, so he had a pretty ordinary, let's just say, Qatar, to be honest. So obviously in the half, so we'll see if he can find a little bit of form around here. Definitely shouldn't count him out, but Gordo's just about to start his first fly, so Slammer, do you want to take us around this Silverstone circuit?
Alright, let me just flick my screen and let's get on board Mr. Gordo. Where are we? Gordo. There he is. Alrighty. So, Mr. Gordo in the Haas, if you don't mind. Early in the session, it's a little bit tricky with traction around here, and manages to get a little bit squiggly as he comes through the first DRS zone, and absolutely pedal to the metal all the way down. And again, nice little fast lap, 27 flat there. Scotty, you're going to have to help me with the names. It's been a little while since I've been at Silverstone. I think that was Village, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was actually Brooklyn's going around Luffield and Woodcote, but we do all know Cops as he takes the right-hander.
Oh, Cops, yes. And then coming into probably the most famous... Oh, no, he's pulled the pin.
Oh, yeah, he's invalidated, unfortunately, as Gordo. So, obviously, it can be tricky, that Cops, as he moves out of the way for someone else. You just see who is close towards their lap. Mercy. We'll pick it back up on him as he comes around Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. But we all know Mercy's Aussie's teammate, 26-1. That's a quick lap for the McLaren. Both of them looking fairly quick. We'll see if Mercy can sort of hang in there as he comes around Stowe. And then the Little King, got to be a little bit careful you don't invalidate on the left-hand side. And then around Vale, last couple is Nato. He got pole last time out, so he's 26-1 as around Club Corner now, crossing the line. Mercy just behind his teammate, 26-1. That's very close between the top 3 there. And then Medi just in P4, Brosip as well, P5.
How's these times already?
Yeah, they're very quick, and
27 thousandths of a second separating the top 3. Not bad.
That's great. Nato looked really, really quick in the Aston. Last week got pole, so he's really up there. Actually, did he get pole? Or no, that was definitely him that got pole. Just having a quick look at the race results from last night as we see Yusuf. He showed some good speed reserving last time out in the Aston. Sort of got caught up a little bit in some tangles, but again, putting his speed on show into the top 4 already. as we had, I think that was Greta moved up into P6. Goaded in the Red Bull as reserve. So my team, Slam, just an indication. So replacing Toddy, who unfortunately couldn't make it this afternoon. So we know Toddy has found some really good speed coming back towards this game, but Goaded comes across the line, goes in the top 8. So nice lap from him. Second in the championship, Marty goes into P7 as well. So as we get our first runs just about finished, Slammer, how do you find the Silverstone circuit? Obviously quite high speed with these particular current gen of cars.
Yeah, I noticed the dirty air actually seems to impact around here quite a bit as well. But look, I think, I race in a few leagues and everyone knows I'm a bit of a boat, so I don't mind the track. It's a fun track, and especially with these new cars going through Maggots and Beckett's, being able to keep your foot planted. The sphincter tightens up a little bit as you get through there, though. And if you manage to do it well, it feels good, and if you don't, well, yeah, pick it up out of the grass and continue on your merry way.
Yeah, exactly right. Obviously, track limits can be a little bit of an issue, but I don't think as much as we've seen in previous years. Or iterations of the game, I should say. Ben goes into P15, or Marty picks up a 5-second time penalty with his teammate, no less.
Oh, no.
So I wonder what's happened there. So Marty was the car behind, so has he got his braking into the pit lane all wrong? We know that this pit lane is pretty much a pain in the ass. Obviously, the longest pit lane on the calendar, because you drop to 60 and you might cut the last couple of corners, but it is slow. I think it's about 30 odd seconds to do a pit stop under green flags around here.
I think we've got Bangleby. I think he's on a hot lap, if I'm not mistaken. I can see that ERS getting utilised, so he's on his way. Just gets past the McLaren there of Mercy, I think it was.
He does too, as we just ride on board with him. Nato 25.8, and that's on his third lap of soft tyres as well. So that's not on a fresh set. He's done a couple of laps on those, and he's already a 25.8. Pole last night in Tier 3 was a 26.2, so we expected the pole to be a little bit quicker, but Nato, he's on form once again.
4/10 on last night, and there's still a little bit of time to come as Bangleby comes through the last little complex of corners. Tries to keep it planted, hopefully keeping that arse end down, and he manages a 27.3.
Yeah, P15. Battlecat moved up into P5 again. 3 laps on the soft tyre. So if you're these guys being able to get a little bit of range out and been able to do, if not a couple of flies, they've obviously made a mistake at least on one of their laps, but tyre we're hanging in there for the guys to be able to actually still set a decent banker, and Battlecat half a second off the current pole time, as we can see a lot of the drivers in the pit lane. Lane Santa in the AlphaTauri obviously set the first time on the board, and he's coming down the straight up to Stowe. So we'll watch him finish his current lap on board. Manages to keep it within the white line there. And can be a little bit of a tricky final couple of corners. Obviously can't afford to run too wide as Gretto's been disqualified.
Oh no.
As Elaine goes into P7. And where is he gone? Oh, I know why he's disqualified himself, because he forgot to serve his quali ban. So thankfully he remembered. Someone yeah, he forgot about that. So thankfully he has done it, and he's done it enough. I'm just going to switch onto a Haas, so hopefully his car should get out of the way. And I think
he's parked it.
Yep. Yeah, he's on the left-hand side. If that's not the
no, it's still going. Is that him?
That's Nato. That's Nato. Yep. No, it is parked. So good to see Gordo. Again, not getting his quali lap done. He's really struggled at Qatar. Obviously, equal most wins this season along with Mercy, 3 apiece. And coming around Cop's corner. Manages to keep it within the white lines this time round. And we come through, obviously, Maggots, Beggots. And obviously you want to run slightly wide. That will compromise his exit out of Chapel and all the way down the Hanger Straight, unfortunately. But I feel like he may come in because that red fuel light has been flashing for a little bit. So he can finish this lap, but he's going to be at quite a low speed. Yeah, so he needs to get a lap on the board, actually. So
yeah, true.
As coming around the last couple of corners around Club, crosses the line, he goes P2.
Hello.
I don't think he cares if
he's
got it.
Worth taking.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he does mind if he has to dawdle and cost 3 minutes. Yeah, he's got that lap and a much needed lap. But again, that's probably how good NATO's lap was, as Yusuf goes into P3 as well. So great lap time from him. Again, showing good pace as a reserve. Hopefully he doesn't get tangled up in the first lap incident. Kai did unfortunately cop a penalty for, I think, both the sprint and the feature. So Kai unfortunately losing his podium in the feature race last week, which, as I quickly find the race results, moved Marty B, who started actually from last on the field after getting taken out in the sprint, moved up 17 spots to finish on that podium. So hasn't won a race as Marty, but it's his consistency that we've all seen this season that's managing just to get into this championship fight. He would like to break that duck of victories, and yeah, only 11th at the moment. Remember, he's got that 5-place grid penalty, which won't exactly help him. So he's going to have to do a similar thing to get some good points, unfortunately.
Who we got in the lap?
I was just going to say his teammate goes up into the top 10, so good lap from Broseph. Very, very close in that midfield portion as Paralozzi jumps onto the front row, 26-1 on his previous lap. So Aussie showing some nice speed at the moment. Mercy still down in P5 as we just hit the 5-minute mark left to go in the session.
They'll be coming in now. Last preps, dump the fuel, fresh set of boots, and send it.
Yeah, 100%. Just like we're seeing Medi go through Cops, keeps it within track limits. So we know Medi's got the speed, he just hasn't had the season that he probably would have wanted. Only P6 in the championship.
I've seen him flying though in other leagues. He's been right up there.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, he hasn't actually been on the podium at all this season as well, which is really surprising from the Alpine. Obviously, adds as the team principal. Obviously, he'd be a little bit disappointed, but he knows he's going to stick with him. He knows the pace Medi has shown as he goes into the top 6. So that's a better lap from Medi. He's only about a 10th off that the big pack that's covering 2nd to 5th, which is again only half a 10th. What about Sam? He will be coming in. Daniel Starr as well. He's invalidated his lap, unfortunately. Still yet to have a time on the board, and the only driver to have a time not up on the left-hand side of your screen. So Daniel Starr will be hoping to get out there. Marty B is on track now on his outlap, ready to start his final flyer. Needs to find a bit of speed, unfortunately. Not quite up there, only in P12. And with Mercy up there in P5 and Gordo in P3, can't really afford to lose positions as we just about reach halfway into the season. One more race next week at Hungary, then we will have the 2-week break before we start the second half of the season.
We've got Bopton about to cross the line. He's a little bit down, I think he is. Just under a second.
Yeah, and he's only got 40% battery, so he might make this a cool lap and go for his final hot lap afterwards, as Medi has a bit of a slide trying to push to go back into the pit lane. It's going to be tight.
Hopefully have enough time to come back out again.
Yeah, 2:44. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, well, don't like his chances just quietly.
I think A-Dog, thankfully for him, A-Dog's out on a lap, so he won't get held up by a teammate. But we're going to go follow Marty B. He'll be the first one to probably cross the line as he reaches DRS down the Wellington straight. So what speeds are we roughly hitting down this particular straight? 327. as he comes around. As I quickly get me track map, Brooklands first, then Luffield, and then wants a clean exit out of Woodcote and the old start finish straight. Prior to, I think the last time they used this straight for F1 was, I think, 2009, if my memory serves. So we've actually had the new pit complex for quite a while, nearly over a decade and a half. But Marty coming around, Maggots and Beckett's trying to hug the inside line, probably washed a little bit wide than what he would have wanted, but he is slightly up on his time. Needs to find a bit more than that to be right up there.
Looked like he hooked up the entrance into Maggots and Beckett's, but yeah, the exit goes a little bit compromised.
Yeah, and that's Chapel's the one corner that you need to get right just because of the straight, the DRS, and it can leave you vulnerable, especially in the race to cars behind. But as we round Club Corner, can Marty get into the top 10? It's only P8, unfortunately. So I think he'd be a little bit disappointed with that. As we've got
sitters on a lap. Oh, no, he's invalidated.
But he'll have enough time and probably enough battery because he got out of it early enough. Yusuf's on an out lap. Mercy will have quite a bit of traffic on his flying lap. Too. He's going to get held. He just does that. Probably washes a little bit wide because of it, but he'll get DRS.
Oh, look at the traffic ahead of him.
Yeah, but he's 2 tenths up and he's going to get a tow from his teammate. Moves alongside Mercy. Hopefully the car's in front. Don't. He manages to take Stowe nicely, no, but here's the trouble. And the Alpine just gets out of the road. Hopefully he doesn't lose too much time. He'll know on his personal delta if he's still green. Mercy crosses the line. He goes pole at the moment. As we've got NATO right behind Yusuf, I think. So that's really going to compromise his lap. So NATO, I don't think, will actually be able to get pole position back. So Mercy leading the way at the moment.
Let's have a look at his sector one time. He's a 10th up.
Surprisingly that he's so close to the car behind. So Bang is currently down on his time. What about the Alfa Romeo? If I can try and find him, I think that's Elaine. He's invalidated. As we do hit the checkered flag now, he won't be able to set another time. So he's starting at least 12th. So we'll jump back onto NATO. Yeah, NATO's done. And Yusuf. He takes Chapel now. Is he up on his time? He's equal to his time, but he goes purple middle sector from the look of it. So hopefully he can get a bit of time in this final sector. Manages to keep it within the white lines. Yusuf currently on the 3rd row of the grid at the moment. Rounding Club Corner now. Can Yusuf improve to the 2nd row? He does. P3. What about Gordo? Is into the pits, and a few others are as well. Broseph moves up into the top 10.
Next.
Oh, he hits the curb, and Gordo picks up a 5-second time, a place penalty, sorry. So Gordo, P5, he's going to start 10th. So as we try and find everybody else, I think everyone's done. What about Goated? He crosses the line, stays P12. What about Blue Dog? He's in.
Into the pits.
And can see a little bit of front wing damage at pit entry. So I can sort of see that, but we are all done, and it's going to be Mercy. I thought the traffic might have hindered him in the last sector, but he absolutely pulled that lap together and gets pole by 4/100ths of a second over NATO, who was really compromised in his final run. But Yusuf, great job from him in P3. McLaren of Aussie, P4. Gordo, currently P5, but he's unfortunately going to drop to P10 with that 5-place grid penalty at the end there, which will move Daniel Starr, great lap from the Haas, Alfa Romeo driver, I should say. Medi, Bompton, Marty B will move up into P... No, he won't. He'll technically move up 1, then drop 5, so he'll be starting 14th. Battle Cat will move up a couple, so he'll jump into P8. Broseph, I think, will be 10th, but we'll work all that out afterwards. But it's championship leader Mercy that's done a great lap so far. As we can see the results on screen, and you can see, unfortunately, Gordo and Marty B, 2 of the 3 championship protagonists, they've got the grid penalties and will be pushed down. So really unlucky from them, and this sort of allows Mercy, if Mercy can get the jump, is going to be fairly comfortable up in front. It's going to be Nato. He had great pace last week, but unfortunately ran out of fuel. So I think fuel's not as much of an issue around here. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating. And Slammer, I think it's going to be a fascinating 50% race at Silverstone. We know that we can see some good side-by-side action around here. The corners sort of allow it. And 2 strong DRS zones as well.
Yeah, that's where it's at too. You will get side-by-side action, and we do know drivers like to go side-by-side. But then, yeah, like you said, those 2 DRS straights, you really need to time your run. Through the main part of the race, make sure you're in the train. But then at the pointy end, you got to make sure you've got a little bit enough battery to be able to take advantage of it. I can see in the chat ads and Kaio saying hello to Scotty. Yeah, hi to you guys too.
Yeah, Kaio obviously wanting to race. He was formerly Red Bull, unfortunately, Kaio, but had to give up the full-time seat, and then he decided to pull out a win for Alfa Romeo, I think it was. So I'm still not particularly happy with Kaio, but he's had great pace, and he's getting more comfortable with the wheel, which obviously we knew, but obviously, unfortunately, he can't do full-time. But as I said, happy to have him reserve in the second half of the season. It's another driver in this strong Tier 2 field. As I said, you get someone like Marty B, who hasn't actually been able to win a race because there's been some strong competition. So, looking really good to see what can happen as we do have the formation lap on. So,
okay, this will be interesting. I saw the formation lap go. I've seen it go good, I've seen it go bad, and I've seen it go ugly. I know there was a couple of other leagues that actually tried to circumvent it by going broadcast mode. Still went kaboom.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly surprise me, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But tyres
tyre choices, eh?
Yeah, so fair few on the mediums, fair few on the hards further down. So front row want to get a gap a little bit. It's all of that track where, if you possibly can, you want to serve your mandatory pit stop under a VSC or a safety car around this particular track. And I think that's what the guys on the medium tyres are sort of hoping for. Safety car around lap 8 will be absolutely perfect for them.
And Greedo there at the rear of the grid, looking to try and make a massive jump early doors, and then he's hoping to be served by a safety car of his own.
Yeah, well, looking at that yellow fuel light that he's got on, he's obviously underfueled that car a little bit, thinking that we probably will get at least a safety car, maybe he's thinking off the start.
Oh, he's obviously praying for one because although his fuel light's just gone off now.
So it's about he's equal, so we can say he's
teetering on the edge.
Yeah, but that soft tyre, it'll be definitely strong. The first 3-4 laps, and he sort of wants to just make positions up early, especially the 5 hard runners in front of him. But Yusuf and Daniel are both out for Romeos. They're sort of the odd guys out in terms of the top 7. So the guys will try and want to at least hold position and then try and fight back later on into the race when they change onto the medium set of tyres.
There's enough medium tyres around them that they should, they'd be hoping that they'd be able to stick with a bit of a train that may develop. Unless you get some breakaways, then they're going to be looking to try and get on the back of them. But it's up for an interesting one because they're going to struggle early doors, no question about that on the hard tyres. But coming towards the end of the race will come back to them, and they should be on the quicker tyres.
Exactly right. As we wait for Sam at the back to hop in, we're thinking, Mercy, is he strong enough to hold off this strong field?
Oh, we've had a disqualification. All right, this is where things sometimes go bad. Hopefully they don't. Take her away, mate.
Yeah, I think we are all good as we hopefully get the lights. We do. We've got 3, we got 4, we got 5, round 9 at Silverstone. We have lights out and we're underway, and it was a great start from Mercy. Exactly what he needed. Nato was a little bit slow, so actually watch the 2 Alfa Romeos on the outside. It looks like we're currently clean through the top half of the field as I get a bit of a tree line blocking me view as Greedo on those soft tyres. So he was going to go aggressive, but unfortunately he's aggressively gone out of this race. As we've got side-by-side action, the two Red Bulls fighting. That was a little bit of a snap from Goated as we got the Haas of Mertz going in between the side of him, making it 3 wide. He gets past one. Does he get past the other one? Around the outside. Or he went the inside, then the outside.
It's his teammate that's almost blocked his overspeed that he had there, but manages to get ahead, and happy days.
Yeah, and that's on the hard tyres.
The two Haas's.
Yeah, and that's on the hard tyres too,
Yep.
so great job. Battle Cut trying to maybe sneak down the inside of Cops, but it's not going to happen as we go back up the front. Mercy got the jump that he wanted. Yusuf got past NATO, and Daniel Starr's actually moved up a position as well, so both Alfa Romeos on the hard tyre. You thought they'd struggle off the start, but they obviously haven't. They've got great pace, but NATO coming down the hanger straight, has the inside line. Will Yusuf go around the outside, try and hang it? He doesn't quite have the grip or temp at the moment, so NATO takes back P2. As we've got the McLaren of Aussie trying to defend. Bompton sneakily up the inside. No, he can't. Obviously very tricky with the curbs in that particular set of corners. As
Gordo's taken full advantage there, mate, in the Haas, and manages to get the jump on Bopton.
Yeah, and on board with Gordo now. He's really piling on the pressure to Parallel Aussie. Thought he was going to have a chance down the inside. Aussie maybe a little bit too deep, but he's holding his line well.
That Haas is prowling, mate. It is absolutely prowling.
Yeah, he's got great speed. Obviously, we thought he'd be a little bit higher up, so that's sort of the pace that he currently has. And we'll have to stay as we got, but we got the two Alfa Romeos. Oh, there's nearly contact. You do not want teammate contact. They're both running in a really good position. Hopefully these guys sort themselves out.
They're working together on those hard tyres, mate.
Yeah, exactly right. But Daniel Starr now takes the lead Alfa Romeo role and is up into P3. As hopefully the leaderboard...
Your timing tower's as botched as mine.
Yeah, so hopefully it fixes itself shortly, but we know that Mercy's leading from NATO to Alfa Romeos, and then we've got a feisty train between Medi, Parallel, Gordo and Bompton as well joined into it. As we've got Gordo, he's sort of boxed in. Will he go the inside line? Could this...
Three wide.
Gordo backs out of it. Probably a good idea, but he's got the inside line. He gets onto the inside. As we're kindly switches, Gordo's half on the grass, but he's gotten past one McLaren. Sneaking up the inside. No, not quite. So Gordo at least got one as Bompton sends a bit of a dive on at the last corner. So he goes into P7. So Aussies dropped 2 spots on that last sector. So it's just a little bit feisty here, but you know these two are really pushing the speed, and they've got Medi in front.
Well, I think that the two Alfa Romeos, mate, decided to tangle up a little bit and seem to be fighting for position, and what they've managed to do is drop 2 seconds off the front too. Oh, that was Yusuf that went sideways.
Yeah, he sort of saw the gap, but I'm watching Medi and Gordo at the moment, side by side. Gordo went the inside. We're going to go side by side through Woodcote, so Medi will have the current inside line for Cops. We're still too wide. Gordo around the outside. He manages just to keep it actually on track, and does he have the inside line? As it gives me a shocking camera angle, and he does get the job done. So Gordo up into P5, Medi P6, and you've got Bompton, who I reckon will have a better run through Chapel. Bit of DRS. Obviously Gordo's going to be a little bit of trouble as Medi's going to send the move down.
Good send.
Gets the job done. We do have a change for the lead, but I'm going to just keep it on this battle as Bompton trying to take advantage of Gordo just being off the optimal line. There's contact.
Oh, he's round.
It was either the curb or contact, and Medi he's recovered, but he's dropped a lot of position as he just tries to stay out of everybody else's way. So unfortunately, both our Alpines at the back. But thankfully, we've got a DRS train from about P5 down. Problem is, he's going to have to make up a lot of pace. Aussie sort of offline a little bit as well. But I will go back up to the front because NATO got past Mercy to take the race lead on lap 3.
Yeah, hopefully these guys don't battle it out too much. Just keeping an eye on that gap back to Daniel Starr in P3 and Yusuf as well. They've sort of found some separation as well. So they would have been they would have been happy to work together and try and catch those guys at the front, doing a little bit of a swap and trying to utilise the battery, but no, they've dropped off a bit, and it is a tale of two at the front, NATO and Mercy.
Yeah,
on those medium tyres, but like we said, the second half of the race should come to the Alfa Romeos.
Yes, we obviously, as you mentioned, while we're watching that battle, Yusuf having a big slide, he cost himself DRS, but who does have DRS is Bompton, and he gets past Gordo. So both of these drivers have sort of followed each other through the pack, and we'll see how quickly they can close in on the two Alfa Romeo drivers in front. And I think Gordo's smart enough that he'll just follow Bompton. You'd reckon. Both of them have got really good speed. Peril Aussie is sort of the one that's just struggling in terms of race pace a little bit. And he's got Battle Cat, the next driver behind him. As we head back up, Mercy, four tenths off, but he had a bit of a iffy turn 4, unfortunately, off the exit. So he's got DRS, but he's lost probably any attacking opportunity, at least for now. Bompton has actually closed in about 4 tenths, so he's nearly within DRS range for the hanger straight onto the third sector. So watch him, Gordo, hanging in there, well as Aussie, and then you can just see the DRS train all the way down the back of this field. As Mercy picks up the first 3 seconds. So I was expecting maybe a penalty early, but not from one of the lead contenders. So Mercy, he's going to have to just be a little bit careful now, because that's the first 3-second penalty of the day.
Yeah, well, like you said earlier, mate, you did mention it. It does have the tendency to do that as Bompton goes up and passes Yusuf right there and then. So he's making the most of those medium tyres. I don't know if Yusuf's starting to struggle a little bit more than what he leads on, but yeah, Daniel Starr and Bompton chasing down.
As Sam gets past Goated for P11, so Sam from the back, he's moved up about 7 positions, as we will have a quick look as Bompton obviously in a bit of clear air now, as Medi picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in pit lane. He didn't look like he's got damage, but half these guys unfortunately aren't running the data, so I can't see it.
I'll keep an eye on him, see if he goes for a wing change, mate.
Wing change, unfortunately, so maybe that contact on the previous lap, and obviously he was past the pit lane as well, as we've got the Battle Cat past Peril Aussie, so as we sort of mentioned before, and is Mertz going to go with him as well, or that's super wide from Aussie, and he loses 2 spots, unfortunately.
And just a little bit of separation forming now, mate. It's just 6 laps in, and the DRS train, some of the carriages have decided to drop off.
Exactly right. And Marty now, he'd want to try and feast his eyes. Oh, that was very close to all 4 wheels off the track. But he's going to be behind this train, unfortunately. Switch back to the front. Mercy is closing in, but I feel like he's just going to sit behind, and he does. But Gordo now gets past Yusuf as well, so Yusuf's just struggling a little bit in terms of speed. Oh, but he does stick the nose up in there. Oh, and that's Gordo having a bit of a slide, and that's Yusuf. Thankfully, he keeps it out of the wall. Oh, but that's a reset to track and a disqualification, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So these drivers know not to reset to track, and unfortunately we got side-by-side, or fortunately we got some side-by-side action, and thankfully he ghosted as well, so no problems there. So Yusuf obviously from his recovery job, but unfortunately that was a plain reset to track if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Caught in 4K, as they like to say.
Yeah, exactly right. As we follow on to Mercy, currently P2.
So I wonder if Mertz now is going to have a bit of a snap at Battlecat just ahead, who Battlecat is not going to be protected by the DRS. How's the batteries looking for the 2? Yeah, a little bit of a battery advantage as well, so keep an eye and see how we go and see if he can then start hunting down Gordo, who is himself hunting Bompton down.
Yeah,
Bompton's just made it into the he's teetering.
He didn't get
teetering on DRS with Daniel Starr. He'd really need that for his race.
Yeah, Gordo got it. I think Gordo just probably may want to just try and save a bit of battery here. But Bompton, obviously, he'll close up. He closed 6/10, 6/10, I should say. So he's, I reckon, going to be fairly close to making this move. We've got a yellow flag, and we've got lost Bang. Oh, we've lost Bang and Yusuf, and that's a second reset to track for Yusuf.
Oh, dear.
He's having a shocker, but Bang. So I'm thinking these two may have collided because they were very close on track. Bang goes around once again. As we hit back to the front, we've got 3.5 tenths.
Just sitting on Sammy Rara for now, mate. Right up the rear clacker there of Marty B, and he has a bit of a look up the inside. And job done under DRS in the train too. So he's managed to get through that all right, and he can see a little bit of a battle ahead of him. He's got Battle Cat, Merton, Aussie. So Sammy, mate, nice recovery for Sammy.
Yeah, P9. So Marty right behind him in P10. As I want to switch to Bompton because he's going to have the run on Daniel Starr and Gordo as well. So I feel like Daniel Starr may actually lose 2 positions here.
Yeah, he's going to be in trouble. There is the advantage of DRS right there, ladies and gents. Or the disadvantage if you're Daniel Starr.
Yeah, he just got to stick, if he can, he just has to stick onto this pace as Mertz gets past Battle Cat, who has a bit of a wiggle out of Stowe, and that's going to allow Parallel Aussie to potentially go around the outside, but he can't. So Battle Cat...
Oh! Aussie nearly lost it through the last corner there, but just manages to hold on.
Yeah, he's hanging in there, but that balance is just not looking right on that McLaren. And as you said yourself, Sam, obviously great come-through drive. And
he's gone wide, has Aussie, and Sam's now seen the opportunity. If he gets a better run out.
Yeah, as we run down the Wellington straight, surely Sam will get this move done, even with the McLaren in front having DRS. He's got the inside line, does the Williams driver. And he does the inside line, and I think Aussie gave that spot up. So Sam up into P8, Parallel Aussie remains in P9.
Decided not to use his battery to defend then either. Sammy dumped his to get past.
Yeah, exactly right.
And now he's given a little bit, as he's been passed by Marty as well, and then it gives him a little tap for good measure.
And that's Goda going completely off track, so I think he went wide enough that he probably won't get a warning for that, but just has to be a little bit careful. As we come through, I'm going to switch back up to Gordo.
Bompton.
Gordo, I think, just purposely stayed behind, but it's going to be Sam against the Battle Cat. And
Job
Sam
done.
gets it done. So Sam on those medium tyres, really liking him at the moment.
He's on an absolute rampage, is Sammy.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a shocking time of it as of late, Sam. So he's looking good. This pace is really good for Sam, so hopefully he can continue it. Sort of break away from the Battle Cat if he can.
Well, you want to close up to Mertz ahead of him and just give that battery a little bit of reprieve because he's used a bit, but he's used it to good measure, mate, putting himself up into P7, 10 laps in.
Yeah, exactly right. Gordo and Bompton for P3, and Gordo gets the job done with DRS. But he goes a little bit wider, but he does hang on. So Gordo and Bompton, their fight continues as well. They've pretty much been together the entire race. Daniel Starr still sticking with them. And then a bit of a gap to said Mertz, possibly Sam Battle, Lane Santa gets past, Goaded around Luffield and takes the position as Aussie not quite against the Battle Cat, who did actually lose a position to Marty, actually. So
these cars are using every piece of track, mate, that's for sure.
Exactly right, as Mercy retakes the lead from NATO, so he had the better run, and Bompton retakes third from Gordo. So
Daniel Starr's just teetering on that DRS there.
Yeah, exactly right. Bompton's pitting early. Can he make it? He can. He can stop it. So Bompton's going for the undercut.
Well, I was going to say, mate, I was just about to ask you, it was on the tip of my lips, when are the medium runners going to start thinking about coming in?
It's probably not a bad call because he should come out in some pretty clear air, as we've got Mertz currently...
What is it, a 30-plus second pit loss?
Yeah, it's pretty long. I know it's the longest, but I'm pretty sure it's 32 seconds, but that's a complete guess.
Oh, Bopton was... Yeah, he should come out about 15... Oh, there he is. Come out 16th, maybe? Yeah. And with some clean air, like you said. So that will be great for him, but he will be getting up to the back of Banglabai and Yusuf sooner rather than later. We can say it's only 3 seconds for now, but it won't be 3 seconds for long, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. As we... on board with Daniel Starr, who is still hanging in there just. He did get the... He was under a second with the activation point for DRS, so he will get it. As he won't obviously make a move, but it will help him a little bit. Nato obviously in P2, and Mercy does a little bit of a swerve into pit lane. Can he slow it up? He can. That's going to be a big thing if these guys can slow it up. But Mercy, obviously, he wants to go aggressive. And Bang picks up a 3-second time penalty. Gordo in as well.
I'm just having a look through the race director to see how we're looking.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Lane Santa is one of those drivers that did pick up the 5 second for speeding in pit lane. He judged it wrong. But on board with Bompton, actually. So he was the one that we knew Gordo was racing. So has Bompton been able to work those hard tyres on his opening lap as he comes around the final corner? And he is going to be close, but I think, does he get it? You can see Gordo coming out of pit lane. And he gets it done. Gordo will have cold hard, so Bompton should be able to easily hold off Gordo, at least for this first half lap anyway. So that was a great move from Bompton with the 1 lap early undercut. So Nato's pretty much going to have to respond here if he wants to sort of keep within that 1 second. Toddy Gritto DNF'd, unfortunately, I think on the entry to turn 3.
On lap 1.
Yeah, so obviously there must have been contact at some point, and because yeah, it was a weird spot where he did crash as the Merc do a team swap, and unfortunately he's allowed Gordo through. But I think Bang just sort of that he knows that that's not his fight, Bompton and Gordo, so he's kept out of that a little bit. Sam and Marty
in the pits.
So Sam in, Nato in. So all these guys now coming in. So as we start lap 13, pretty much at halfway now. As I try and find... Who is it? Mercy. He's coming around club corner now to start lap 14, and he should easily get this job done. As you can just see, Nato, you'll see him come out of the pits, and the McLaren onto P6 at the moment, but holds position. But Nato... Nato
didn't quite get the jump like I thought he would, though. Then Mercy, I was expecting him to get a bit more of an undercut on him.
I think the mediums aren't actually too bad because the hards do take quite a while, as we've got Para, Aussie and Sam fighting side by side. As Sam runs a little bit wide, that will allow Lane Sander to potentially get the inside. No, he can't. Sam had the better line through Village Corner. So down the Wellington Straight, Packer 4 at the moment, currently for P11. And as you can see, a few penalties on screen now. We'll just wait until the top 5 make their pit stops, and Bang has to also make his pit stop off the hards as well. But I'll quickly switch off, I think.
Oh, Sammy picks up a pen. I was on board with him there.
Yeah, off Cops Corner, which we've seen a few guys running wide there.
Oh, here they come. They're coming thick and fast now, mate.
Yeah.
Fresh set of boots on, and the grip levels change, and it makes it a little bit harder to predict. Mercy, Bang.
Oh, and there's contact. 8. That's goaded around.
Goaded gone.
And unfortunately, Elaine Sand...
Safety car! Holy crap! Daniel Starr, Mertz, Marty, Battlecat, Broseph, they will be delighted!
So, that's really unlucky. Elaine Santa, does he have any wing damage? But obviously, Sam and Goated have made contact. Goated has half spun off Sam's car, and unfortunately, Elaine Santa's pretty much just pole drived into him. Somehow, I don't think Elaine actually has wing damage, surprisingly. I can't quite tell, but if he's gotten away with that, that's amazing. But yeah, this is a gift for the top 5.
Well, let's see, because I can see 22 seconds is the gap from Daniel Starr down to Mercy, who, well, is our net race leader for now. Let's see what the difference is once, because these pit lane can have a massive bearing on final results if you get to do your pit stop at the right time. And for Daniel Starr, Mertz, Marty B, and Battlecat and Broseph, it is the right time. Those Ferraris will be licking their lips.
Yeah, exactly right. And Broseph is going to have to hold, but as I said, he's not the 5 extra seconds odd that he has to hold is going to be a lot better than making the green flag pit stop. And this is the track. And yeah,
Mercy's in.
I was about to say from Kyo, the comment in the chat, he was probably going to say the hards will probably be in for the medium tyres, and that's what's happening with the top 2. Does Bompton's going to risk it?
Yeah, he's staying out.
Problem is he's got to wait for the Delta.
Well, he was 24 seconds off the lead, so let's see how it pans out for him.
And he gets onto the run. Can he take the race lead? I think Daniel Starr's actually going to hold. Daniel Starr does hold.
Wow. There you go. So a 30... Oh.
Wow.
That is unreal. So what a difference. Doing it getting your pit stop done under safety car. It's like almost 10 seconds quicker.
And I'm actually surprised. Mercy and NATO, they've come in for mediums and they're 11th and 12th. I'm wondering, I know the medium tyres would have been alright, but their hards are only 2 and 3 laps. Surely you'd rather track position than 11th and 12th, because we've seen you can make positions on this track, but as soon as you're in that fight, we just saw the gaps extend, especially with Mercy and NATO early on. The battle for P3 just let them get away.
Oh, mate, Mercy and NATO now will be looking to get through this field quick, smart, and in a hurry. Like we've seen for the first half of this race, they've pretty much been untouchable. Coming out, getting out to a pretty big gap, being able to wax lyrical at the top there, and unfortunately for them, safety car has come out, and Daniel Starr, the biggest benefactor of that, he would be loving life right now, mate.
Yeah, exactly right. Toddy with
and he did show some good pace too, so he was up there or thereabouts. I think it was in that second group behind Mercy and NATO. So, ooh.
And that's a little bit of a risk here, because Silverstone is sort of known that other than lap 1, you don't really see safety cars on this track unless it is pretty much an on track collision, which we obviously did see between Goated and Sam. But yeah, you very rarely see it. So yeah, the hard tyre is obviously the alternate can sort of play with the mediums at the end, but if you're lucky out with a safety car like these guys have, and we can see the arrows on the left-hand side with the positions gained, Daniel Starr up 4, Bompton up 5, Gordo up 6, even though he was up there anyway, Mertz up 9, Marty up 9, Battlecat up 2, he sort of stayed where it is, but Sam also up 10, but he made those positions before the pit stop as well.
Yeah, some would say fortunate, some would say unfortunate. I've seen quite a bit of chatter in the community about leagues maybe turning safety cars off.
Possibly. I think the talk is that safety cars also come out too much, even on reduced. I think that's sort of the main thing.
On some tracks it's a bit ridiculous, and on others you can put them up to extra safety cars and nothing comes out.
Yeah, I know safety cars can sort of throw it around a little bit, but it's sort of also, I feel like it's probably the frequency. I don't mind some races with none, but it does get a little bit tiring if every second race you've got 4 safety cars. But obviously, that's sort of something where every driver has to get used to those particular conditions and have to race in the same thing. So you'd maybe set your strategy one particular way, but obviously it's probably going to be the only safety car we see today, and it's the guys on the hard tyres. They've chosen that strategy. They've lucked out with the strategy, and as I said, Mercy and NATO probably would have been leading this field, but they've decided to go on to the medium tyres, where maybe in about 5 laps time after green, if they hadn't lost too many positions, the hard tyres might have started to come back. So
it's going to make for an interesting, here we go, safety car coming in at the conclusion of this lap. It's going to make it very, very interesting, because we know the pace that both of those guys have got. We've seen it for the first half of this race. Now they're going to have the freshest tyres in the midfield, trying to work their way through quite a few.
Exactly right. So that's Pence on screen for everybody at home. Aussie with 3, Sam with 3, Lane Centre with 5, Mercy with 3, Bang with 3. And there's your tyre situation. Obviously, if you guys stayed out, Daniel Starr, I think, has he gone? He has gone. So he went early. So he gets away from Bompton, from Gordo, from Mertz, from Marty. That's your top 5. It's sort of spaced out a little bit, but it's going to be where if Daniel Starr can sort of pull away from Bompton, because I feel like Bompton and Gordo, they've just got the natural speed at the moment around here, and you can see the top 3 very close together. But it's going to be Mertz as well in the other half. That's going to be right on the tail of these guys. Marty in P5, he's in a prime position for another podium. And you can sort of see down in P11 and P12, NATO and Mercy, they've been the biggest losers from this safety car. As Bompton a little bit deep after the Wellington straight. Can't quite allow Gordo through. But you've got Mertz, he's definitely on those medium tyres. He's in a really good chance of possibly a P2. Maybe if Daniel Starr can't quite get away from the lead, might be a chance as Sam and Aussie. Sam gets past at Cops as well. Yusuf gets past Blue Dog coming into Maggots, so great job from Yusuf. Obviously his 2 reset to tracks will affect his position unfortunately. But Mercy's moved up to, actually Aussie lets Mercy pass, so Mercy up into P9.
Oh, does Aussie play rear gunner now?
Possibly, but unfortunately I don't think Mercy's going to be looking behind him. He's going to be looking in front of him because both his championship contenders are in front. So, but you can see Marty, he's found a bit of pace on these medium tyres, sets the fastest lap. So he's currently P5, but he's in this 1 second train. As we can sort of see, Daniel Starr hasn't been able to get away on the new set. And that's what I said.
NATO goes the big send on Elaine Santa and gets the job done. He doesn't want Mercy to get too far ahead of him there, mate. They've been stuck at the hip pretty much for this whole race.
Yeah, exactly
and,
right.
Enter Aussie.
Yes, Mercy is going to send the move down the inside of Sam. Sam sort of pushes him as much as he can to the inside, but Mercy gets the job done. Sam goes a little bit off track and has to concede the position. So Mercy up into P8. The one thing that screws Mercy over here at the moment is he got a 3 second penalty early on, and that could cost him at the end because all drivers in front of him now are still clean. But again...
I'm just sitting on board with NATO here and watching Aussie put up the brick wall. So he's offering a little bit of protection there to Mercy, and Mercy's going to try and make hay while the sun shines.
Exactly right. As go obviously unfortunate, he was looking all right this afternoon. A-Dog picks up a 3 second time penalty at the back. Obviously he's still running top 15, get points. So both Alpines at the moment not scoring at all. So Ads will not be happy as NATO goes. Oh, he really thought about the move around the outside, but he backed out of it. As we do get DRS, Yusuf gets past Elaine Santa now. So Yusuf up into P12. So he's making positions off this restart on the medium tyres. As we've got Aussie and NATO.
Oh, he's just not giving it up. What a defensive job here from Aussie.
As
absolutely fantastic. And it gives him a little bit of a nudge saying, mate, you're stuffing up my race.
Unfortunately, I think his race got stuffed when he decided to come in for the second time, unfortunately, but he's going to get DRS.
There you go.
And that's a lot easier move than NATO. But unfortunately, P10. Mercy still only in P8 though, but he is right behind Broseph, who I think will do a little bit of covering
safety car. Who's that? Blue Dog.
Or just a yellow flag. It's
Blue Dog doing donuts.
Yeah, Blue Dog with
Sorry,
the
I said safety car, didn't I? I meant
yellow flag.
flag.
I think a few of these guys would have liked to say another safety car, but we are. Gordo picks up a 3-second time penalty.
That's going to hurt.
That's going to hurt. His hard tyres will be all right at the end, but unfortunately, at the moment, he's dropping down to P6. So I think his contention for the win's over. Mercy gets past Broseph, so Mercy...
he's on a charge, mate. He's on a charge.
That's the one thing that you can do with the medium tyres is charge, and because you've still got the train for the top 6, Daniel Starr, he's starting to pull away, and he actually did. Bompton had a bit of a poor lap 19, and Daniel Starr has broken DRS.
Oh, he's this is where he needs to put pedal to the metal, mate, and hopefully maintain the greater than 1 second gap. Bompton's going to be hoping to reel him in. Let's see, a little bit of a poor exit there, and I think that'll be enough for Daniel Starr to get the jump on him, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
He's actually going to watch out. Gordo's coming. Here comes Gordo. Gets the move done on Bompton.
I think if Bompton's smart, he just tries to stick to the rear of the Haas. I think he just needs to try and get back up to Daniel Starr, and if he has to use Gordo to do it. But problem is, Mertz has got real pace, and he nearly hits the back of the Mercedes in front. That was very, very close. So Mertz on those medium tyres, he's got still a great bit of pace. You can just see how much more speed the Haas was able to carry through than the two in front of him. Those Haas were just starting to feel not great, especially through these sequence of corners. As we get DRS, Daniel Starr's pulled that gap to 1.5 seconds. Bompton will he send the move down? He can see the Haas in front flashing, but he does decide to just sit behind him. So he's going to do what we think and just maybe sit behind. Obviously, he's got net second place in the bag at the moment. Mercy is closed to this train. He's about 2.5 tenths off DRS.
Not far off at all. He's coming.
He's getting there. He hasn't quite dropped Broseph. NATO is on the back of Sam now. So Aussie really struggling, 3.9 seconds off. So Aussie qualified well, but unfortunately hasn't had the race pace. But I think Daniel Starr, he just needs to keep it on track, and he will find himself on the top step tonight. He's driving a really, really great race. As Bompton had to go a little bit defensive down the Wellington Straight to cover from Mertz, who's really on the attack now.
He's all over him, isn't he?
As we ride on board with the Haas driver. Coming around Cops again. Daniel Starr 1.8 seconds. It's sort of this train, and Mercy is right on the back of the Battle Cat as well, 0.5 second. So all these guys, unfortunately, for Mercy, will get DRS in front of him.
Oh, he went a little bit wide there, did Mercy. I might just have a look to see how our race director friend is looking. How's Mercy? Yeah, Mercy picked one up in lap 1.
And that's Gordo around. I'm just trying to see me stats, and yeah, unfortunately we've lost Gordo. He was going to lose out with the penalties, but unfortunately, he's obviously had an issue. Not sure if that was contact with Bompton, but and we've had a collision at the back.
Oh no!
Sam and Nader into the wall. Will this be a safety car?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Oh!
Second safety car. That's due to debris, and that 3.5 second gap that Daniel Starr had, unfortunately, it was pretty much going to be lock on to pick up the victory, but unfortunately, he's going to have to build his gap. Now, I'd imagine all these guys will have to stay out. You'd want track position. I'd imagine.
It's only 2 laps, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't see anybody in, maybe a few guys at the back, but the 7-lap old medium, so it won't exactly be a bad tyre.
I'm just thinking, what spot here would you be looking for a soft to try and take advantage? I'm not sure there are any, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad, but bad if you do lose a bit of track position, but again, I think the mediums are not going to be too bad. Wayne, there's your penalties on screen. Mercy, obviously, the highest runner with 3 seconds. Not a lot of penalties, but it's the 3 seconds, especially with the safety car 2 laps from the end. Mercy, unfortunately, he will not win this race. That 3 seconds really costed him. But Daniel Starr, what does he do? Surely he stays out. He does. Mertz.
I can't see anyone who's in with a sniff. I can't see anyone coming in.
Broseff's
Gordo
in.
maybe. Yeah, there you go. Broseph. Gordo's in.
Broseff's
Aussie's in. So they're going to have a crack.
And as I said, can't hurt too much, especially with Broseph, because he's on a better tyre and he's got no pens.
No.
Yusuf
couple of 5 second penalties.
Yeah,
Two of them.
Yusuf with 5 and NATO, after his first pit stop, his race has gone to pretty much hell, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So he's down in P40. He's going to go the soft tyres, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just comes in again to get rid of that 5 seconds, I think. As everybody chucking on the set of softs. Broseff's gone the new set of mediums, so maybe he didn't have a new set of softs, but if you want to do that, you'd probably just stay out, unfortunately, but top 8 stayed out. And remember how I said about 4 laps ago that Medi and A-Dog weren't scoring any points in 17th and 18th?
Yeah.
Let's just have a look where they are now, 7th and 8th.
Yeah, I mean, not bad at all.
I know they've got a whole bunch of soft runners behind them, but it's looking a lot better for Alpine than what it was 4 laps ago.
Tell you what, who's this worked out for? Look at Gordo there.
Definitely helped him. He obviously, I think it was his incident that sort of caused all the chaos, because everyone sort of had to get out of the way to avoid him, which I sort of meant that Sam and NATO obviously had their spin through the last corner. So it sort of bottled a few guys up, and as it'd be interesting to know if Gordo just lost it on his own, or if he did have contact with Bompton. I'm pretty sure Bompton was probably just going to sit behind him, so I think it might have just been a self-error. But we'll have to wait and see.
He's going to be on some absolutely rapid boots.
Yeah, as safety car's not in, so we will get to the start of lap 25, so it will be a 2-lap dash. And Daniel Starr, he doesn't have a hard runner behind him. He's now got a medium runner at the same age, and Daniel Starr didn't exactly look great off the... I mean, he had an alright restart. Problem is, his first lap and a half wasn't great. So...
Yeah, but the next 3 were bloody awesome.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And Bompton and Gordo weren't exactly fighting. It was the pace that Daniel Starr had, so he's took him a little bit to warm up his tyres or get the right rhythm and pressure, but once he got there, he showed great pace. But he got Mertz in P2, Bompton in P3. He's on 13-lap-old hard, so he might be the one that might be in a little bit of danger.
Yeah, I could see the likes of, say, Gordo even making his way past Bompton there. Hopefully Bompton can, for his sake, can just maintain a little bit, keep the guys behind away. But it's going to be a bit of a battle there up front. Daniel Starr and Mertz, they will be punching on. I can see Toddy's already predicting the future there in the chat. Good on you, Toddy. But I think Gordo now, he'd be like, nothing to lose. I'm in P9. I'm on soft tyres. I've got a 3-second penalty. Send. Absolute send. It's going to be Haasbiel here.
Yeah, exactly right. Problem is his 3 seconds that he picked up just before his spin doesn't help him. So, one final check for the penalties. So, top 5 at the moment clean. Betty in P7 clean. Broseph will move up a couple, and Lane Santa, obviously, he's been in a bit of stuff, but he might be able to move up a few positions at the end. But again, it's going to be quite feisty.
Well, with this late safety car, mate, bunches the field up, which means that 3-second penalty hurts even more.
Yep. But as I said, it only takes one barrel to go side by side for a few corners, and you easily lose half a second to a second per corner. But safety car is in.
Oh. Hold on to your hats, guys. Hold on to your hats. She's a-coming.
Yeah. Can Daniel Starr hold it, or can Mertz find a way through and pick up his first podium, his first victory of the season?
Or can Bompton pick up some scraps? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly right. Brompton, he's had 1 second for the season. We thought he might have been a challenger. Hasn't quite had his season. But Daniel Starr, he takes the final corner and he's off.
Squiggly from Mertz.
Oh!
Jesus!
And Brompton's going to have the
here
run.
Here comes Brompton.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. You're going to burn all your battery. Mertz still not comfortable on the medium tyres, and this is just going to allow Daniel Starr to absolutely get away and create a bit of a gap. Gordo gets past one of the Alpines already up into P8. Broseph as well on the new mediums. A-Dog's just falling down the field, unfortunately, as Pierre has an issue.
Mercy's round.
No, championship leader is around and currently not scoring any points. Daniel Starr still with the lead. Mertz has sort of broken Brompton a little bit. But you can just see how close it is. Gordo in P7 on the soft tyres. He gets so much more grip. Touches the back of the Alpine. We're going to ride on board with the Haas for the time being. Around Copse. He's going to have so much more grip and confidence. And you can just see the run off the corner. Easy. Mertz has to let him go. But back onto the lead of the race. Mertz had a great second sector, 2/10. He's going to have the tow. He's going to use a bit of battery. He won't have enough to send it down at Stowe. He'll have just over a lap left to go. He goes a little bit wide. That could allow Brompton potentially to have a move a little bit later on, but not quite. Aussie and
gets the job done on Battlecat. Sorry, mate.
Don't think Battlecat will fight him too hard. Gordo has the 3-second penalty, so they'll just keep it, and Medi's got a big train of cars behind him. Gordo will pick up the fastest lap point at the moment. Aussie and Medi on those old mediums, just really struggling against all the new fresh tyre runners, unfortunately. Sam nearly had a go at Nato. We've seen those. Nato sends the move on Medi's. There's contact. Still facing the right way. Who have we lost? Yellow flag. Oh, that's Marty.
Oh, no, it's all over the place at the back.
So second championship contender, he's out. And Gordo got involved in that too, I think. So whether he had to get out of the way, but all three of the championship contenders not having a great last part of this race. Sam has retired. So he's had an issue. Blue Dog 5-second penalty for ignoring track limits, but we're going to go back up to the front. Mertz, he's pretty much just going to have the last sector.
He's killed his battery.
Medi gets past Battlecat, so I think Battlecat's got damage.
It's going to come down to DRS, mate. It's going to come down to DRS.
But there's no DRS, remember? It's going to be...
Oh, of course there isn't. Oh, well, no battery. He's down to absolutely zero. Daniel Starr's dumped his. And it's going to be Daniel Starr being able to hold him on as we come into the last couple of quarters. Brompton hasn't gone away, that's for sure.
And Daniel Starr, he's gone around the club corner for the final time. Battlecat's out. He's had an issue.
Geez, what have I seen?
It's going to be Daniel Starr who picks up his first victory of the season. Mertz in P2 picks up his first podium, and then Brompton gets his second podium. Great effort from the top three. Broseph up into P4. On those, he decided to box. He got past a few of the guys who had penalties. Aussie in P5, Medi P6. We'll have a look at the rest of the standings, but all three of the championship leaders, they took a hit. And it's going to be a very interesting reading in the stewards' reports, I think, later on. Aussie gets driver of the day. We'll find out where he finished. But, yeah, we thought it was going to be a chaotic last couple of laps. It certainly was.
I think he finished in 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see.
We'll have to wait and see, but we can see the Alfa Romeos, they pick up the victory for Tier 2 in Silverstone, and it's brought home by Daniel Starr. He had pace, he qualified in P5, started on the hard tyres, he absolutely got the safety car luck, but he had to hold on from the guys behind, and he's absolutely done that with 2 separate restarts, and held on to Mertz, who unfortunately just didn't quite have any battery to have a go at him on that last lap. But again, it's a great job by Mertz, and then Brompton as well. He was up front providing plenty of action as well. Results on screen, as we said, the top three, your podium. Broseph done a great job in P4. Fortunately, his teammate had a bit of a shocker at the end there. Aussie finishes in P5. He was falling down the field, but Aussie picks up fastest lap as well. So great points from the McLaren. Medi in P6. Lane Santa, he jumped up. P7, he was like 15th at that restart. Gordo in P8. NATO in P9. Bang finishes inside the top 10. Blue Dog 11th. Mercy after that spin, unfortunately, he only gets 12th. Yusuf in P13, but that will be a disqualification because of the 2 resets. Marty finishes in 14th again after having an issue. A-Dog fallen back. Battlecat, he retired, unfortunately. Same as Sam. Goaded, and we lost Gredo at turn 3 on lap 1. So he didn't have much involvement with that. As we take a bit of a breather on that restart and wait for the guys to join us in the comms box. Slam, that was a great race in terms of side-by-side battles. A little bit chaotic on the restarts, but I think well-deserved podium. I think Daniel Starr drove brilliantly. I think he held P3 for the first part until he got overtaken by the mediums, but he just kept out of trouble. Stopped when he needed to, and then, as I said, he did the job by holding out the last. I think we had 12 laps, 13 laps on those medium tyres, and fended off all challenges.
Got an element of luck early doors, that's for sure. So that really helped him. But there's one thing to have luck, and there's another thing to be able to take advantage of it. Because as we know, he's still got to keep it on the white lines. He had some El Rapido guys behind him, and he managed to stave them off nicely. So yeah, it was great racing there from Daniel Starr. A little bit hectic in the midfield and a little bit lower back, and the tyres. Tyres had a little bit to say about it, but at the end, it wasn't the tyres. It was class, it was pace, and yeah, the guys managed to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly right. As I've got 2 of the 3 in this, so Slammer, do you want to interview our third place getter? And that would be Mr. Bompton.
Mr. Bompton, welcome to the comms box, mate. Congratulations on a fantastic P3. Talk me through the race for you, buddy.
Cheers, lads. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in here. But, yeah, I started on the mids and was battling Gordo for DRS and decided I'd try and get the undercut on him. So I went into the pits, chucked on the hards, and managed to come out just in front of him. And I was in the DRS of other vehicles, so I could keep him behind. Then that safety car happened, and kind of everyone went into the pits, and me and Gordo stayed out on the hards, and then he got a 3 second, which was good for me because I was just going to stay behind him at that point.
Yeah.
And then just
make sure you get to the end there, mate.
Yeah. I just didn't have the pace at the end to battle those medium runners up front. So, but yeah, it is what it is. It was a good race and pretty clean on my end from what I seen anyway.
Yeah, it seemed to be okay up the front end. There were a couple of issues in the midfield and a little bit lower back. But yeah, I'll just take me back to that undercut, mate, because I'll be honest with you, during the call, I saw you come in early. I thought he's gonna get the job done here. Did you have any issues on your out lap? Because I was expecting you to be a little bit further ahead of Gordo once he decided to come out.
Yeah, so in the pit,
cold tyres.
I got stuck in neutral in the pit too, so that slowed me down just that little bit. And
that'll do it.
Yeah, I think coming out of that S section before the back straight, I think I got a little bit light there. So, but yeah, managed to get in front, so it was all good.
Yeah, happy days. Oh, congratulations, mate. Awesome result for you, P3. Can't go wrong there, mate. Nice one.
Cheers, lads, and I'll catch you next week.
Will do.
Yeah, no
Over
worries.
to you, Scotty.
And as we switch the car livery over to the Haas Mertz, first podium of the season, I believe it is. Great race from you. Had great pace, obviously, on those medium tyres. Just sort of sitting back and, great job from you. How was your race from your point of view?
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, it was definitely pretty happy at the end because yet again I haven't been in the comp box for a while for the last 2 seasons, and I just stuck it out to as long as I could on those tyres, and just was listening to my TP the whole way, and it worked out in the end.
Nice. What was there any reasoning in regards to that late call, or like it was just do as I'm told?
Look, I was told to box on softs or just do what you want to do at the end, but I just thought I'm just going to do what the car in front of me is going to do, and I just thought these mediums can go to the end. Let's just go for it.
Yep. Very, very nice. Any hopes and dreams of maybe taking that top spot there at the end?
I was going for first place at the end there, but I think Daniel just had the pace, and I think we were both on the same ERS strategy as well there. But
I
yeah,
think
great race
just
from him.
just before that last lap started, I think he had a little bit of an advantage on you, but he started dumping a little bit earlier than what you did, and yeah, by the time we got to the straight there towards the end, yeah, you were both basically running on empty, mate. With no DRS either makes it tough.
Yeah, it was really great. It was great fun at the end. Congrats to Daniel.
Yeah, but yeah,
Very
great.
nice.
Yeah, great job from you, P2. Obviously, your season sort of haven't had the best season from your point of view, but obviously, as we come into the halfway, we've seen speed from you, but unfortunately, just involved in a couple of incidents or just quite haven't been able to put it together. How are you feeling coming into the second half of the season?
I'm going to try and keep my consistency through the second half of the season. I'm trying to aim within the P5 or even on the podium spot. That'd be really great for me in the championship as well. So yeah, it'd be really great to continue this run for the second half of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're currently 11th in the standings, but I think you'll move up. Looking at the gaps, probably close to P8. So you're moving up into the top 10. So yeah, great drive from you, and looking forward to see more of what you can do next week, I believe, in Hungary, and then obviously towards the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's P2. Race winner, Daniel Starr. Great quality from you. P5, obviously, you went the alternate strategy compared to the guys around you, and you went longer. We said it in here, it's luck to get a safety car, but then it's skill to hold off the last 12 laps with a lot of quick guys behind you. That was a fantastic defending from your part, and yeah, great race from you, and your first victory of the season as well.
Yeah, appreciate it, boys. Yeah, that's my first race in Tier 2, so that's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, just talk about the strategy. Obviously, started hard. Any particular reason? Because obviously, both you and your teammate started on the hard tyres. We thought you may have nearly come together with your teammate on lap 2 or 3. That got close, and then obviously, yeah, what was the decision there?
I just like starting on the slower tyres. I like to come home quicker, so that's the only reason.
But yeah, that battle with Yusuf, a little bit close for comfort, probably for you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised I don't get damage wing or he grab damage, or very good that we both don't get damage, so that's alright.
Yeah, and then obviously safety car, you've come in. Did you expect to sort of be in the lead when that safety car did get called?
No, definitely not. I was hoping for at least the highest P4, but when I said P1, I'm like, I'll take it. Yeah. Well, I didn't want that last safety car with about 4 laps to go. I had 3-second gap, heaps of ERS, and then a safety car. I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, that's when the heart sinks a little bit, mate.
Yeah,
a lot of us have been been on either the giving or the receiving end of that, mate. Can you just talk me through though that second stint? So once you'd come out on your mediums post that safety car, you got a nice little jump there, didn't you? You really had the bit between the teeth, and it was looking really nice for you there, mate.
Yeah, I was taking it as quali laps.
Oh,
100%
yeah, right.
I was. Yeah, so yeah, then I seen the 3-second margin, then I was just trying to save a bit of ERS. I had a fair bit, but I was still saving just in case a few others got in that second or
a safety
and then
car
the safety
came
car,
out.
yeah, and then oh my god.
Yeah, mate, awesome racing from you today, mate. And like Scotty said, yeah, it's one thing to get the luck of the safety car, but it's a completely other thing to take full advantage of it and put your skills on show and cross the line for a big P1. Congrats, mate.
I appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Good on ya.
Yeah, and that will make Timmy very, very happy. It's the TP, but yeah, great racing from all three. Obviously, there's a few guys that will be a little bit unlucky, obviously, and a little bit unhappy, I should say. Mercy back down the field. Marty, obviously, that last lap spin. So I think Mercy will still lead the championship, but probably thankfully all three sort of took a hit. Gordo will score the most points. I think he'll jump back past Marty for P2, but obviously the Battle Cat in P4. He obviously DNF, so no points, unfortunately. Double DNF for Red Bull, which doesn't make me too happy. But yeah, bit of a chaotic race. But as I said, that's not taking away anything from the top three. Great racing that we've seen from those three, and that will pretty much just do it for Tier 2, Slammer. Big thank you hopping in here. I pretty much told you with about 2 minutes left to go before we started. So big thank you to jump in last minute.
Not doing anything on a Saturday afternoon, evening, mate. And yeah, why not come in and join Mr. Scotty for a little bit of Vinters action Tier 2. It was good fun.
Yeah, no, big thank you. As we've got Tiers 3 and 2 done, so we've got the quick boys left to go in Tier 1. That's tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. Yours truly will be in the Red Bull seat and trying not to boat. I think I did a race around here about 3 weeks ago and had no pace, so we'll see how we go.
Get practicing, mate.
Yeah, a little bit of practice, but I've got a new teammate that will start beside me in Riley. He picked up a win. He picked up a win as a reserve, so we'll be hopeful that we can pick up a decent result. But obviously, Prince sort of he's right up there along with KLX and a few of the other boys. So we'll sort of have to wait and see. But yeah, I think it'll be a fascinating race. We know how a few of these boys love Silverstone, I should say, and yeah, it'll be fascinating to watch.
Stuff.
So yeah, we'll leave it there. So yeah, 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon for Tier 1 to close off round 9 at Britain, and then we'll join you next week at Hungary for round 10. So on behalf of Slammer and myself, Scotty, pleasure having you on a Saturday afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon for Tier 1.
Good night, guys.